good afternoon. This is Cindy Bertram, and thanks for joining me today on Good Ship Happens. And yes, we've got a lot of interesting things I want to play catch up with on too, because once again, the cruise industry does such amazing things. Of course, they're building new ships, okay, but there's so many choices out there too. And, like I said, it's changed so much over the years because people say, okay, now, what's the best ship I should go on? Well, the thing is, there's so many choices out there. It goes back to what you really are looking to do, too. We've got huge ships like crazy, which are good, but also you've got smaller cruise ships, too, which are great as far as great choices. So it goes back to maybe thinking about the experience you want, who you'll be traveling with, and just more things like that, too, because once again, there's so many ships out there, but different choices. And you've got cruise lines that have worked with different partners too over the years too, which is great, but also just good things to share too. And there's so many choices out there too. Because once again too is sometimes people think, okay, now is that ship too big? But there's so many choices because once again, when cruising first started, my God, over 50 some years ago, and brand new, I mean, you had smaller ships. They started cruising out of Port Miami and did small ships, of course, too. Then they grew. They've expanded more ports, destinations. Route cruising has really, really exploded in a very good way, too. And just great with different choices out there, too. And like I said, also new ships coming out, but you've got some smaller ships coming out, too. And just customize things, too. So keep that in mind, too, because once again, I can't just answer the question, what's the best ship for you to go on, okay? I mean, good ship happens. I like to share positive real stories, too, in so many different ways because there's so many good things going on, too, in the industry. One thing I want to share, too, it just came up, but cruise lines do amazing things, okay? And one just came up, okay? Kind Cruise Line, actually, they had a ship that rescued 4 people and their dogs that were actually stranded on board a stricken catamaran in the South Pacific. And this happened on Thursday, okay? And Carnival Cruise Line's Australia Carnival Splendor was actually sailing, and they got this, they started sailing, left Sydney, okay, was sailing on an 8-day cruise to New Caledonia, and then they were going to be doing different things, but they got this call from the Maritime Rescue Coordination Center in, I think it's pronounced Noumea. So what they did was, they were heading to Fiji. What they did was they actually, this stranded catamaran had an engine failure, and it broke a mast during the bad weather. But the Carnival Splendor, which is actually sailing south in New Caledonia, immediately headed towards the catamaran's location and reached it within 5 hours, okay? What they did was, there were 2 couples, and their 3 dogs were given food and water and medical assistance on board the Carnival Splendor, and they will disembark in Noumea. But anyway, I'll show you a picture too. Hopefully you can see the picture, but this is such a great thing that cruise lines do, and Carnival Cruise Line just did it. They rescued 4 people, 2 couples, and their dogs. But here's the picture, see if you can see it or not too, but look at this. These are 4 people that they rescued plus their dogs, but just another great example of good ship happens, right? But it's so good because cruise lines do that like crazy. They have the ability to actually move out of the storms, which is great. We've seen that during hurricanes, but they also rescue people, and they get notifications from the maritime industry too. Okay, so what's good too is I love sharing good stories like that too because it's really fun to share those kinds of good stories too. And what's good too is we've got a lot of new ships coming out too, big ones, small ones too. One I want to share about too is actually Four Seasons Yachts, okay? And Four Seasons Yachts has their first new ship, their Yacht One, coming out in January this next year, okay? And like I said, it's just it's part of Four Seasons, I think. But anyway, Four Seasons Yachts, they just secured financing to actually launch a second vessel. Yes, this just came up. That's really good too. So good to share this kind of stuff too with you. And as mentioned, they just secured financing for construction of a second vessel, which is going to expand their expansion into luxury cruising. And the vessel is going to be built by the Italian shipbuilder Fincantieri at their shipyard in Ancona, Italy. And the order is valued at more than $435 million. Yes, okay. But Mark Henry Cruise Holdings is the joint owner and operator of the Four Seasons Yachts. Once again, it's a great milestone. And Donald Mason, who I met before too, he's their chief financial officer for Mark Henry Cruise Holdings, mentioned this milestone really reflects our continued growth and commitment to delivering Four Seasons legendary service at sea. What's fun too is their first vessel, which is Four Seasons 1, is being also built by Fincantieri in Italy, and they're going to begin sailing in January 2026. It's going to feature 95 residential style suites, also offer inaugural voyages throughout the Caribbean, also Mediterranean, Bahamas, and great things like that too. It's really good too. And then, of course, the second vessel, the Four Seasons 2, is scheduled to debut actually delivered in 2027, and it's got inaugural sailing is going to be planned for 2028. But with the Four Seasons 1, which is going to debut in January 2026, okay, that's how many months from now, it's going to feature, as mentioned, 95 different style suites. Also, their inaugural voyages will include Caribbean, Mediterranean, Bahamas, but the fun thing is they have announced their new captain for Four Seasons 1. And the captain, she's a very, very well-known female captain, Captain Kate McHugh. She's got a great story. She's in my second book, but great story. She, when she grew up, she talked her parents into taking a cruise. They took a 3 or 4 night short cruise, and she was maybe 12, 13 years old at the time with her family. Came back, told her dad, when I grow up, I want to be a cruise director. Her dad told her, Kate, you can do anything you want to do. So what happened was she decided to get into the Maritime Academy after she graduated from high school. She graduated from Maritime Academy, and then she applied for jobs at different cruise lines, kind of work for. She wasn't certified to be a captain yet, of course, too. It takes steps, but she was applying for different jobs and couldn't get her foot in the door. But anyway, she just decided to apply for a job as a bartender. They saw her credentials, but that's how she got in the door. And then later on, she moved up into different roles working on the bridge. But then also in 2015 is when Lisa Lutaprillo, the president of Celebrity Cruises, actually asked her to become captain of one of their ships. So she worked for Celebrity Cruises, which is part of Royal Caribbean Group, as captain. The first woman, American female captain, by the way, too, with Celebrity Cruises for 10 years. She just left earlier this year. But what happened was she had a cat with her on board the bridge. Her husband worked for Royal Caribbean, so she had her cat on the bridge with her too, but her cat passed away. I think that's why she decided to take some time off. It was just kind of hard too. So anyway, she took some time off, but then at Sea Trade Cruise Global Conference, a conference I go to every year, she was there, going to meet with her team. She just got hired to be the captain of their new ship, which is great too. But she's a great person, just amazing. Very down-to-earth person, okay, and amazing, but she's gorgeous. She looks like Sandra Bullock, okay? I met her when she was with Celebrity Cruises, of course, too, but just a great person, and so excited about being part of Four Seasons Yachts. So now she'll be a captain with the Four Seasons 1, okay, coming out in January. So keep that in mind, too, because once again, this is luxury, but they're going to be offering sailings in the Caribbean, Mediterranean, Bahamas, too. So that's good news, too. So once again, keep that in mind, too, because she's a great person and great story and just very down-to-earth. And she's gorgeous, but just so beautiful and down-to-earth, too. Something else, too, that we got, too, is think about different places to go to. Of course, right now, because we're getting into summer, but, excuse me, you can actually take, right now, this is the season for Alaska cruises, okay? Got actually a cousin who's actually on Alaska cruise. I've seen her pictures. It's great. I've been to Alaska too myself. I love it. It's beautiful. beautiful things you can see too. But Alaska season is very short. Asia goes from maybe May to September, but beautiful place you can go to too. And a lot of times you got cruise lines, including Hall America and Princess, which actually would actually fly in earlier and do like a cruise tour first, which is great. Then board the ship, but it's beautiful and the wildlife is gorgeous. Glaciers, wildlife is gorgeous too. So keep it in mind. But also, another area that's become very, very popular is actually Antarctica. And we got a lot of cruise lines that actually, their ships have to be specially built because, of course, it's so cold. But, for instance, I know Atlas Ocean Voyages does do Antarctica cruises. Some other ones do too. They're smaller ships, very small, but very personally built too. But also, I know that Princess Cruises, they just announced their 2026, 2027 South America and Antarctica cruises, okay? And they're opening right now for sale, which is great. But like I said, you can see beautiful areas too. And and different areas too. Once again, they're going to be using their Majestic Princess, okay, which is going to make her debut for Princess Cruises, and it's a member and operator of the International Association of Antarctic Tour Operators, okay, and it's committed to environmental safety too. And for first time, like I said, I know that Princess is going to be introducing scenic cruising through the Beagle Channel Fjords, also Glacier Alley, and also showcasing spectacular hanging and tidewater glaciers too, which is great. And like I said, they've got 5 different itineraries and 6 different departures, and these range anywhere from 15 to 33 days aboard their world-class Majestic Princess. They got 2 overnight scenic experiences in Antarctica Peninsula, and they're featuring 17 different destinations in 10 different countries. And I know that they've got a 15-day Cape Horn and Glaciers of Patagonia with scenic cruising overnight in Buenos Aires. They've also got their 17-day Antarctica and South America with 4 days in the Antarctic region. They've got an 18-day Brazilian adventure, which includes Rio, Uruguay, Barbados, and Buenos Aires overnight too. So once again, kind of interesting to think about this too, because it seems so beautiful, and I would like to actually go to Antarctica someday too. It's just beautiful too. And also, what's great too is you've got so many wildlife options too, because once again, they mentioned that. Sorry for my light's going on off. Sorry. See if that's better. Yes. Sorry. Anyway, you've got over 1 million penguins from 5 different species nest each year in the Falkland Islands. Also, while calling on through Beagle Channel, Glacier Alley, and also Antarctic waters, you'll see whales. You'll see porpoises. Leopard seals, seabirds, and even more penguins, right? But just really, I think, really breathtaking experiences too. So keep it in mind too, okay? Because right now, Princess Cruises is opening up their sales for this, and they're opening up sales for June 14th this year with some discounts. So keep in mind too, because if you've ever thought about maybe trying to go to the Antarctic area, keep this in mind, because Princess Cruises is now doing that too in 2026, 2027. So keep it in mind, okay? Something else too is we talk about new ships and things too, but also we've got new ships coming out too. Celebrity Cruises has got their new ship coming out, but also they've got their 6th Edge class ship, okay, and it's going to be delivered in 2028. The ship is right now known as the Excel 2. It's going to be the sister ship of Celebrity Excel, which is going to be debuting actually this year. So Celebrity Excel is going to be debuting this year, later on this summer, okay? And right now, Celebrity Edge's class ships currently have 4 ships. This includes the Celebrity Edge, which sails in Australia, and then the upcoming debut of the Excel. Also, the new Excel 2 will bring a class of total of 6 ships too. And it's great too, because once again, with Celebrity Cruises and their Edge class ships too, they've got some beautiful areas. Okay, and they've also got the ships being actually built in Chantier de l'Antique, okay, which is built other ships for Celebrity Cruises, also Royal Caribbean. So the 6th ship that Celebrity Cruises is doing is really an epitome of their pioneering series of cruise industry, which is both elegant, high-performing, more innovative too, which is great too. And also, like I said, it's just beautiful that they're doing this, and they just announced this too, so that's really fun too. Something else that came up too is with MSC Cruises. They just christened their new ship, the MSC World America, and I was on the christening cruise, which is great. And they picked a very special person to be godmother to christen the ship. The godmother was Drew Barrymore, the actress. It was phenomenal to be there on board with her christening the ship too. Because what they did was they made the announcement in a Super Bowl commercial earlier in January. And Drew Barrymore and Orlando Bloom, but they did a whole series of to holiday, okay, which is great too, because it's really part of their branding, which is great too. But the ship was gorgeous. I mean, MSC World America was fantastic. The christening was amazing. Drew was so excited to be the godmother too, which is great. And also then later on that evening, after the christening ship, we had dinner first. The christening ship, of course, too. And then they did special events that evening, 2 other things too. But also then what happened was I was fortunate to be on the 3-night christening cruise myself. And that was actually starting on April 9th. Some people weren't invited to that. They got off ship by 1 o'clock in the morning on April 10th, early morning. Then we sailed out to their private out island, which is Ocean Cay MSC Marine Reserve. And it was so good to go back there too. I love that island. It's beautiful. And they've been restoring coral reef trees there too, and when I was there, they actually did the ribbon cutting of their ocean conservatory, which is great too. So, once again, ship is gorgeous. Just wrote about it. My article just got published, which is great today. But just great what they're doing too, because once again, cruise lines are really trying to do different things to really kind of save the ocean life. Also, what they're doing too is they're switching to going to liquefied natural gas, LNG, for their power on board their ships too. Other things they're doing too. But what they did was, MSC just announced that they're ordering 2 more world-class ships. Okay, we've got more ships coming up too. But once again, they just announced this actually this week. And like I said, they've ordered more mega ships, and they're going to add 2 world-class ships to their fleet, which carry nearly 7,000 guests, and it kind of matches what other cruise lines are doing too. But once again, it's going to accommodate 6,774 passengers, and these 2 new vessels will actually debut in 2029 and 2030. Also, right now, they've already got, MSC Cruises has already 4 ships of this size. This includes the MSC World Europa. They got the MSC World America, the MSC World Asia, and also the World Atlantic. Okay, and that's just kind of fun too. And like I said, what's fun too is, like I said, they don't, as far as the ships where they sail, they do Mediterranean, Southern Caribbean too. Once again, too is they are working on different areas too, because once again, with the orders of new ships, which they actually have built in France, they're really committed to building some high-performing ships in the world, and that's great too. And also, I know that with the world-class MSC ships, they're known for their fuel efficiency, and they're operated by LNG, liquefied natural gas fuel sources too. And once again, too, is I know MSC is going to be looking to build on this with their newly designed dual fuel internal combustion engines, which is a way to really reduce methane waste. Also, the ships will have shore power capacities, okay? Also, improving the wastewater infrastructure, also more on board energy too. So as far as these, which is great too, other ships coming up too, as mentioned, um, we've got, of course, Royal Caribbean. Their new ship is coming out, okay? They've got Starseas coming out this year. I think Starseas is coming out maybe by July or August. And that's Starseas Royal Caribbean. And what's good too, this is their Icon class ship too. Also, what's fun too is what's great too is with Icon of Seas, when you think about officers on board the ship, you think of men and women, right? They run the bridge, right? But what came up was when Icon of Seas debuted last year, they had also a chief dog officer. Her name is Rover, a golden retriever, right? Well, then also they decided to have another chief dog officer on their new ship coming out this year, Star of the Seas. They adopted her, okay? Her name is Sailor. She's just a couple months old. I've seen pictures. She is so cute. And also what's really fun too is they showed some pictures, videos where Sailor got to chance to meet Rover. Okay, they're kind of like sisters. But that's great too, because once again too, as like I said, Starseas coming out this summer. Also, they got their Legend Seas coming out in 2026 next year. And also they got their third and fourth new ships coming out 2027 too. And then Carnival's got 3 new ships coming out too. It's great. And what's great too is and look at their 3 new massive ships carrying nearly 8,000 guests on board. Those will enter service 2029, 31, and 2033. Also, Norwegian Cruise Line has got 4 new mega ships coming out, and those are going to be delivered between 2030 and also through 2036. Those will carry up to 8,300 guests too. And what's great too is Disney Cruise Line, their largest ship coming out, Disney Venture, is going to enter service later on this year, and it's going to carry up to 6,700 guests. But once again, we've got other ships coming out too. They're not huge mega ships either, so keep in mind too, because once again, it goes back to what you want to see and do. What's great too is, when I think about new ships, of course, you've got smaller cruise line ships coming out too, which is great. So keep that in mind too, because not all ships being built are huge mega ships, okay? You've got other options out there. For instance, you've got, Scenic, which is great. Scenic Cruises, which is great. And you've got, of course, Waterways, which is a very, very fantastic river cruise corporation. Family owned, which is great. And they have really grown like crazy over the past 23 years. But once again, too, is with river cruising, what's great too is it's a way to really, I think, be able to see Europe in a very, very engaging way. Okay, with European river cruises, not that I'm against doing maybe a European trip itself to see different cities, but what's good too is with the river cruising, it's really fantastic option, an alternative, because once again, the ship is your floating hotel, okay? I just think that's great too. But once again, Waterways just launched their first river cruises in the Magdalena River, which is in South America, which is great. It took them more time. They just launched their first ship there. And once again, it's a good way to kind of engage different areas too, okay? Plus also with Waterways, you can actually sail on the, go to Egypt too, which is great too. Also different options too. Plus you've got, of course, a lot of other river cruise lines too, which are great too. But keep in mind too, because once again, river cruising is another way to really explore different smaller ports and cities too, because once again, with the river cruise line ships, they're smaller, okay, and what they do is they can actually dock in smaller places, which is great. And once again too, what's great too is it's a good way to actually see beautiful cities in Europe, other places too, because the ship docks right there, because they can accommodate smaller ships like these are. Also, you can see different beautiful areas too, which is great, and then get back on the ship, and then the ships go to their next stop, which is great too. So once again, it's kind of considered your floating hotel, but once again, keep that in mind too. Something else that is important too is a really fantastic cruise line. I'll feature more about that later. Is called Azamara. Okay, and they've got 4 different ships. But with Azamara, what's great too is their ships are smaller. They get different areas. Okay, Europe of course is one. But what's great too is they actually stay longer port times in those ports. And as a result, they can really customize things to do in the evening. They call them their amazing experiences too. Their ships are small, they can stay longer in these different areas. What's great too is then they combine different things for people to actually do when they're in that particular city, which is great. So keep that in mind too, because I think it's wonderful to share these kinds of things too, more than ever. There's so many options out there too. You've got, of course, like I said, just so many options, of course, with the U.S. areas too. One that just successfully launched was actually Victory Cruise Line. They just launched, and I was on the christening of their ship, the Victory One, which actually they flew me and other people up to Toronto first. What they do is with Victory Cruise Lines, they do the 5 Great Lakes cruises. They'll be doing some other things later on. They're still figuring out what they're going to do during the wintertime, because you can't do the Great Lakes cruises then. But it's a really great way to explore different things I'd never seen before, even though from the U.S., but it's great to kind of explore it too. And Victory One, what they do was they flew us up to Toronto. They include a free night hotel, and had a chance to see some different things too that night. Then next morning, we boarded the ship a little after 9 o'clock in the morning, got on board the ship, which is great, and then they did the christening, right? And John Wagner, who is the co-founder and owner of Victory Cruise Line with his wife, their daughter christened the ship. It was great. Of course, then we sailed out, and they went through 5 different areas in the Great Lakes, different cities, of course, which is great too. One was really fun too. Is we went to Cleveland, Detroit, Mackinac, which is great, and just really beautiful areas too. And one thing I did too is didn't realize it. What Mackinac is, what they did was they did dock right there, but with Mackinac, didn't realize it. They don't allow any types of vehicles there. Okay, no vehicles, no cars, no trucks, nothing. What they do is they have horse-drawn carriages. You can use bicycles, and of course, with Victory Cruise Line, they include free shore excursions for every stop that they make, which is great. And I did take this horse-drawn carriage. We saw beautiful areas, Mackinac Island, beautiful areas not seen before, because I've never been there. And then they had different tours you could do later on too if you wanted to, but one was they had different fudge shops too, and you actually learned how to make fudge. I didn't have a chance to do that, but it's really great too. But just another great way to really kind of see beautiful areas too. And then, of course, we did different places. And then what happened too is, like I said, they have this one. They have their main restaurant, of course, plus they got the grill. On the grill, during the morning and afternoon, they had more like buffet type things. They could cook things for you too. And then at night, you would make a reservation. But there at night, which, maybe 51 guests, made a reservation there for dinner. But what happened was you actually could cook food too, which is great too. It was kind of fun. It's called the grill. Keep it in mind too. And what they did was they actually then they dock at Navy Pier, okay? And then what they do is then too is then they started that cruise again, but from Navy Pier, Chicago, through the 5 Great Lakes into Toronto and back and forth. Plus also on May 12th, which is great too, is they also launched their Victory 2 ship and christened that ship. That ship was christened by John Wagner and his wife, their granddaughter, which is great too. And that sailed out from Navy Pier on May 12th, going through the 5 Great Lakes too. I know that they're doing that through October, and then they're going to rethink about where they're going to take their ships, because once again, during the wintertime, they can't go to the Great Lakes. It's a little too cold and things too, but keep it in mind too, because that was really great to experience it too in different ways. something else is, the MSC Cruises mentioned they just launched their World America. It's great to be aboard the ship and the christening. What they did too was they have just introduced some new updated specialty menus for their specialty restaurants, okay, through their entire fleet, okay. And once again, they just updated this too. So as far as the highlights for their specialty dining experiences, guests can actually choose a variety of different dishes, okay, for their full restaurant at one fixed price, which is great too. And they just announced that, so they just updated that too. Once again, they've also got customizable dining packages too. Once again, too, it's great because once again, being on the World America is great, but also what they've been doing with their private out island, which is Ocean Cay MSC Marine Reserve, is absolutely fantastic. Okay, I will be writing about it because once again, cruise lines have really been working hard on their sustainability efforts too. Okay, and that's really great too because once again, too is they've eliminated plastic straws. Okay, they're very careful what they recycle too, what they have on board the ship. And also, like I said, they're going to liquefy natural gas, which is great. And also, what's great too is when I was at Ocean Cay MSC Marine Reserve for the christening of the World America, they actually did a special ribbon cutting with their Ocean Conservatory, which is great. And it's great because what they did too is great because they just are doing some phenomenal things, and people need about that too as far as what they're doing there too. And I do plan to write about that myself too. Also, when I was in there, when they did the Ocean Cay updates, and of course they actually were able to get their conservatory open when I was there too. It's great because they're building coral reef trees there too, which is great. So that's really fun too. So keep people up with that too. As far as Alaska, as mentioned, Alaska season is open right now. And if you don't go to this year, but definitely keep it in mind because it's a beautiful place to go to too. Because once again, I know Princess Cruises, they just celebrated the opening of their Alaska cruise season. They did this in April, but they're carrying more guests to Alaska than any other cruise line, okay? And they got 7 different ships, okay? They've got different lodges, okay? Also, that offer cruise tours too, plus they've got 5 different national parks you can visit too, which is great, including Glacier Bay National Park. And with Princess Cruises, as far as where they're departing from, they've got actually 5 different ports that you can depart from, including Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle, Washington, okay, which are in the U.S., plus also, of course, Vancouver, British Columbia, where I did my Alaskan cruise from, and also Anchorage, Whittier. But once again, it's a lifetime, really exciting thing they're doing too. So once again, they've got right now, as far as Alaska cruises, new this year, because they're sailing right now, their Ultimate Alaska with Glacier Bay National Park includes 2 new cruises, which focus on glaciers and less visited ports. Of course, they've got the Grand Princess, which is offering a 17-day round trip from Seattle, visits 10 different ports, 3 glaciers, including Hubbard Glacier, which I've seen, College Fjord, also Glacier Bay National Park. They've got the Ruby Princess, which is offering a 22-day round trip from San Francisco, okay? Also, they got Voyage of the Glaciers, which is northbound from Vancouver, British Columbia to Anchorage. Also southbound from Anchorage to Vancouver. They got Inside Passage cruises, which I did. That sails from Seattle or San Francisco, Vancouver too. And what's great too is they've got different sailings that are available too. So keep it in mind too. And also what's good too about Alaska is definitely keep it in mind too is you can do cruise tours, okay? And what they did was Princess just expanded their cruise tours this year. They got new itineraries for their guests that include national parks, including Glacier Bay, Denali. They've got Wrangell, the fjords, also Katmai, and also this year they're offering the Mount McKinley Princess Wilderness Lodge, which debuts their new renovated Grand Lobby with a grand fireplace too. And of course, the Glacier Bay experience is beautiful too. And what's good too is I know they actually have, it's kind of fun too, is they got their campfire movies under the stars, okay? What they do is, it's a way to really see these sunny, beautiful places with Alaska as an actual backdrop. And they've got cozy blankets for people to have, plus fire pits, plus popcorn to watch family classics Alaska theme movies too. But it's under movies under the stars, which they've been doing for a long time, but also Alaska, they do that too, which is great too. So keep that in mind too, because it's really a great way to really experience different things, nature, wonderful. And I do want to go back there sometime, probably next year too, which is great too. And it's just great too, because it's a great way to really kind of enjoy Alaska in different ways. And it's so easy to get you to go. So now we've got different places we actually depart from, actually U.S., not just Vancouver, which is gorgeous too. I mean, seriously, gorgeous to go to Vancouver too. Also, we've got some things about Alaska real quick here too. We've got, they've got, oh, this is kind of fun too. One thing about having, dogs on board ships, well, cruise lines don't really allow dogs to sail. The only exception is you've got chief dog officers, okay? You've got Rover, who is the chief dog officer for Icon of Seas. And then coming out later on this year, Star of the Seas coming out, I think she's coming out in July or August. We've got also Sailor. She's the chief dog officer for the new Star of the Seas coming out this year. But also what they're doing too is they've got some fun things with Princess Cruises. They've got, for instance, they've got puppies in the piazza, and guests can actually learn about sled dogs from the expert dog handler, their behaviors, eating, exercise habits, while actually watching real-life sled dog puppies interact together in the piazza. Okay. And as far as Flavors of Alaska, of course, with Princess Cruises, they kind of do some special things with their cuisine on board the ship. Okay, because once again, when you're sailing Alaska, of course, no cruise Alaska would be complete if you didn't have, of course, seafood. Once again, the main dining rooms, the World Fresh Marketplace, also special restaurants, feature locally sourced king and sockeye salmon, halibut and rockfish. Also the balcony breakfast, which really provides scenic glacier viewing, brings smoked salmon and crab quiche. And also, what's fun too is they've got, this is kind of fun too, is guests sailing to Alaska aboard the Discovery Princess can savor their own freshly caught fish at the Catch by Rudy, and enjoying the day of fishing with exclusive Cook My Catch, a shore excursion offered by Princess Cruises. Also, the Crown Grill includes king salmon, Oscar Alaskan crab cake, and with the Crab Shack, that includes, of course, shellfish and clam chowders with Alaska seafood pot. That's complete with specialty bibs, okay? And also they got their Sabatini's Trattoria, which features river steelhead salmon carpaccio, which is great too. So once again, you've got different cuisines, which is great too. And of course, once again, you've got beautiful scenic beauty too, up close wildlife, Alaska storytellers too, which is great. So keep it in mind too, because once again, Princess, of course, is sailing right now. They've been sailing to Alaska for several years. They're kind of like the icon there too, but also cruise lines go there too. So keep it in mind too, because it's just another great way to really experience nature in beautiful ways too. Once again, it's amazing. And like I said, just a great way to really, experience different sea life, and also learn more about Alaska too, and also glaciers and things too. Plus, once again too, is you've got more options as far as what cruise lines are sailing to in Alaska too, which is great. And they've been doing Alaska for so many years now too. It's just a beautiful place to go to. So please don't lose out on that too. Definitely, okay? And once again, as far as new things coming up, I'll be sharing more in my next episode. Oh, real quick too is, we've got Memorial Day weekend coming up, right? But what I want to mention too real quickly before we end is cruise lines do offer military veterans special discounts. So please keep that in mind, because once again, we recognize veterans. They do so much great work too. And what happens is when you decide to book a cruise, if you're using TravelAdvisor, which I strongly recommend, they actually have military discounts for military people too. That's great too. And but important, keep in mind too, because once again, Memorial Day is just a great way to recognize our people. They give so much, and cruise lines do offer military discounts from people that are retired from military, also current military people too. So keep it in mind too, okay? And once again too is, we can talk about different things later on too, but also one thing too is with cruise lines, what they do to be safe too is the first thing you do is after you board the ship is they have you go through a muster drill to be safe, okay? And then of course, just great way to kind of tell you what to do if something comes up, you have to get off the ship. They do a muster drill, okay? And they really simplified it, which is great too. So I'm going to share more of that right now in a minute, okay? Keep in mind too, and also once again with so many great options out there too. So keep in mind too, because once again, you've got big ships, smaller ships, lesser cruise lines. Keep in mind, of course, Europe is one option. Besides, of course, the Caribbean, which is where the cruise industry first started. You can go on the Nile River, of course, and of course different areas in the South Pacific, which my parents did several times. And of course now we've got different river cruise line options too, including the 5 Great Lakes Cruises, Victory Cruise Lines. So keep in mind, but now we can actually share more about the muster drill, okay? That'd be great.
Welcome aboard! Your favorite ladies are here to guide you through the safety rules. Let's get started. When you hear the general emergency alarm from the ship's horn, don't stand around like a statue. Announcements from the captain will accompany the signal. Listen carefully and follow the instructions given. In case of a real emergency, grab your life jacket from your cabin, along with warm clothing and any required medications. And save your trip from becoming a Greek tragedy. Additional life jackets are also available on decks 6 and 7. During an emergency, green illuminated route signage will help guide sailors to assembly stations on decks 6 and 7. And remember, when night falls, don't follow the sun god, just follow the signs. Safety signs are behind the sailor cabin doors, guiding you to evacuation routes. And remember, no secret aisles in this floating castle, just follow the signs to safety. In case of emergency, head to the assembly stations on decks 6 and 7. And remember, use the stairs, not the elevators. To make sure everyone is accounted for upon boarding, all sailors will be required to scan their wearable bracelet in a tablet. And remember, there's no escaping the check-in line, not even for pirates. In case of emergency, only when told to do so, simply follow our cruise example. Slip your left arm through the strap, put the life jacket over your head, and pull the waist strap around you, just like that. Then, just clip the strap and tighten. Tie the excess strap around your waist. A light located in front of the vest will activate automatically if you enter the water. And if you need, you'll always have a whistle for attracting attention. And remember, safety is art in motion. When the captain gives the order to abandon ship, remain seated and wait for the marshals to call sailors. They will guide sailors safely and slowly to their survival craft. Uno, dos, tres, pose! Uno, dos, tres, emergency signals. Remember, not all emergency signals require sailors' participation. During these emergencies, announcements will be made to keep sailors informed. No need to go out of style. If you happen to have an emergency, or an emergency, the response teams will be available to assist you. If your participation is needed, an announcement will follow. In case of emergency, remember to dial 911 from the nearest ship phone. Hashtag help before lights. In case of fire or smoke, evacuate the area. And that goes also for you, Snow Woman. Thank you, but next time please follow my instructions. Throwing objects overboard isn't permitted. Isn't it right, Your Majesty? Hashtag no seating on the rail. Hashtag no likes for rails. Hashtag anchored in safety. Sailors who have accessibility or medical needs should contact Sailor Services by visiting them on Deck 5 or dialing 0 on the cabin phone. Remember, 3 long blasts mean man overboard. Throw a life buoy from the open decks. Remember to dial 911 from the nearest ship phone, stating the side of the person overboard if possible. Congratulations! You've reached the end of our safety video. You're now ready to enjoy the best experience ever on our cruises. The medical center is located on Deck 4 by the forward passenger elevator lobby. Smoking is not allowed in cabins or on balconies. Our ship has designated smoking areas. 1 large smoking room is behind the casino cage on Deck 6, and 1 smoking area is outside on Deck 16. We want all our sailors to have an epic voyage. To help ensure all sailors can participate in a safe and enjoyable journey, we have set forth standards of conduct. A voyage to our sailor conduct policy is available on our website, virginvoyages.com. We are on a moving ship, so please watch your step when walking around. Hold on to handrails and watch your step over thresholds. Outdoor decks may be hot, windy, or slippery when wet.
Mama, Papa, was your suitcase packed but not mine? How could you leave us kids behind? Parents are going on a cruise without us kids, and we know whose fault this is. Virgin Voyages says we can't cruise till we're 18, which makes us shake like we had caffeine. Virgin Voyages says no kids on the ocean, so we're causing a commotion. You'll be sipping cocktails under a starlit night while we're back home without an invite. Sure, you've earned a gourmet spread, but we're experiencing existential dread.
Adults, enjoy the cruise. We know you deserve it, but the fact we can't go is total bull.
Another great show, and that wraps up the show and everything like that. But I thought we'd go out with Virgin since my friend EJ is now working for them. So he just recently took that job about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and he's now working for that particular cruise line. I think it's actually Virgin Voyages that he's working at. He's the entertainment director, so he's got the job of being in charge of a lot of the entertainment. So I thought I'd give him a shout out with his particular cruise that he is part of. I think he'll come back in October. So he's on one of those 6-month tours and everything like that. But he is the ED.
Like a 6-month contract, right?
Yeah. But on that note, we're going to get out of here and everything. I do have another small one that we're talking about Virgin and one of their Caribbean people. So I'll close with that one and everything. So give them a little love. But a great show as always. And we'll be back with your regular location on next week because I don't think I've got
That's fine,
anything
because
to
like I
take that.
said, I had a subject, but what came up too is I got like these text messages on Tuesday. This is my payday.
So what did you say?
I got these text messages different women at the schools where I subbed, you know. What it was, they accidentally doubled what we were going to get paid on May 20th, right? They screwed up.
I'll have to call you and check into that because, like I said, I've got drumming in the background, so I can't hear everything. But we'll talk on the phone about that. But we'll end right now, and I'll call you about that in a second.
No, that's fine. Okay, and then you can send me a link to this fine too. Just
So
found this
we'll
on
end with one more Virgin, and then we'll both get out of here. But I'll be getting in touch with you with another great show about the cruise industry and particularly Good Ship Happens.
Okay, good. I have to figure out my lighting. It's a little dark here right now, but I think to wrap up, I can trace them up higher too. So yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have that ready to wrap up, and I'll send you the link in a second.
That's fine.
Come on, chameleon. You come and go. You come and go. Never will be easy because I like my dream. Red, gold, and green. Red, gold, and green.
Virgin Voyages aired its new commercial featuring Drew Love and Richard Branson. A couple takes a moment to relax and reflect before starting a day of fun and excitement aboard a Virgin Voyage superyacht. Drew Love sets the soundtrack to an eventful day at sea, singing a cover of Culture Club's song Karma Chameleon as passengers do yoga, hit the pool, enjoy excursions, and party into the night on their voyage reserved exclusively for adults. Virgin invites you to contact your travel advisor to book your next epic adventure at sea.
If you like this video, please click like button, subscribe and open notification.